What's coming out of your mouth? What's coming out of your mouth? What's coming out of your mouth? It's Shay and Peach. Check him out, check him out. It's Shay and Peach.
What's up, everybody? We want to welcome you all to What's Coming Out of Your Mouth. I am your host, Altanya Lachey. This is my co-host.
Fairly.
We want to welcome you all to What's Coming Out of Your Mouth. If you are new to our channel, we want to welcome you, and we hope you come back and tune in for more into our conversationalists. Welcome back. So, co-host, how is your Tuesday going?
I've been having a great Tuesday, man. I can't complain. Everything been going well. A lot of chilling mostly, but I got a little work in, so I'm been doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Can't complain. Can't complain at all. Um, all right, so we're just gonna jump right into tonight's show. We talking about, are we ready to go back outside? So you all know that they are talking about opening outside back up by different states. So we want to just kind of discuss some of the things that's surrounding that, and we have a special guest, Mr. Wayne. He is going to give us his take on if we're ready to go back outside and all the factors that's involved in it. So give us 1 minute. We're gonna bring him on.
There you go.
All right, how you doing, Mr. Wayne?
All right, all right. How are you all?
Oh, doing pretty good, doing pretty good. We want to thank you for coming on the show. We know it was a last minute request.
No problem, no problem. Always for you, no problem.
Okay. So with them getting ready to open outside back up and people starting to protest, what is your thoughts on them opening outside? Do you think we're ready?
Uh, no, not at this point, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I want to say shout out to all the people who in the front line, all the nurses, doctors, and everything out there who's really taking their risk for their lives to
Absolutely.
make the fight. But we are just really 30 days, truly 30 days into this because one, we don't know what we're really dealing with. We're just going off what we see as far as the numbers and things of that nature. We don't know, how quickly this can spread. Right now, we're looking at 1 out of 3 people can get the virus. And I think from the CDC perspective, you should be at 1 to 10. So every 10 people, one person may get infected, and that's someone who may have some type of disease with comorbidities associated with it. But if you're not at the point where you can do 500,000 testing a day,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're there. I just don't, and I really feel like people are not educated enough. Just looking at social media and things of that nature, people are reacting off feelings, and I think that's because we've become a society of convenience. Meaning,
Right.
back in the day, we'll be over there sitting outside all day, finding things to do. It wasn't always about TV because I know when I was young, TV went off at midnight. You heard the Pledge of Allegiance, and then it went to straight, screen, nothing on it. So I feel like because we are a society of convenience, now we're twiddling our thumbs and anxiety, stress, and things of that nature because we don't know what to do. And then you have people who don't have cable or don't have the ability to have the internet and Netflix to watch movies that keep themselves busy. So they're chomping at the bit.
Right.
But going to those people that's out there protesting.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask. First of all, let me stop you. And can you give us a little background on what makes you an expert in this topic?
I studied let's see where I start. I got my bachelor's degree from Alcorn State University.
Oh, I can not on here 2 nights straight.
Swag champs. I'll just pause and moment silence for the swag channel. But anyway, public health degree from Jackson State, and now currently getting ready to complete my doctorate from Arizona State. So as far as public health is concerned, I was actually a public health officer in the military. So I've actually been through live quarantines where I've actually had to shut down an installation due to viruses, bacteria, and spread of certain diseases. So just understanding the basis of what a virus can do and what a disease can do, and understanding the difference, and understanding how it's associated with, you know, a certain race or a certain background or a certain environment or things of that nature. I just kind of understand it, and I don't go by the drum of news. I actually know what specific sites to go to that's going to give you factual information.
Right. So do you think that that it's a possible resurgence of cases and deaths if they open us up too soon?
I don't think they've caught the number of people who actually have it now.
Right, I agree with that.
Not even talking about the resurgence. You don't have the testing to catch the people who have it now. Then you have people who haven't had symptoms,
right,
and who's actually the host that's actually spreading it. So until you get to that point, man, it's hard.
What do you think?
Would you say that you think everyone should be tested?
No.
I agree with that. I definitely
agree with that. Everyone should be tested, but do you think we should have capable of testing everyone?
I think yes. I think if you meet those signs and symptoms, you should be able to go to your provider that day, get that 15-minute test or that swab, and then you'll know. And then you can quarantine for that 7 or 14 days, depending. Because even so, just looking at how the disease develops and how it spreads, before you even have symptoms, you're spreading it 3 to 5 days before you even have symptoms.
Right.
So just, you know, making sure we take care of those people who are having those symptoms where they're mild or severe, because right now you're only being tested if you're severe. They're turning you away if you have mild symptoms. They're just telling you to go quarantine for 14 days and then see how you feel then. So, you know, you just it just depends. But unless you can truly, even if you have a town of 3,000 or a town of 3 million, unless you can test 500,000 people a day rapidly, I don't think you're ready. Even if you're still at a high number, if you have the testing in place where people can be tested instantly, then you can open up, no problem. I don't see an issue with it, because now you can track. It's just like having a sexually transmitted disease. They have a system where you track it, and now they can connect. They can connect the dots, but right now you can't connect the dots.
So, in your opinion, I guess both of y'all can answer this question. Do you think they're rushing to open the outside back up for financial gain? Because a lot of people are complaining about not having money, or not being able to pay their bills, or, you know, a lot of businesses aren't being able to make their money at this time. So do you think it's a financial gain, or do you think, what's my favorite word I would love to say, conspiracy side, that it's a trap? Or do you think both?
Well, I think from the public perspective, everybody is looking at the financial side.
Yeah.
Everybody is worried about their finances. People worry about if they're gonna can they pay their bills, how far back they gonna be on their bills, is their credit card gonna get ran up, if they gonna lose their house. The unknown right now is scaring people, so they just ready to get back to normal.
Right.
So that's what I believe. That's why the uproar is here, because everybody is the unknown is breaking everybody's mind.
I can go with that. What you think, Mr. I'm calling him Mr. like he an old man.
I know, right? Like I'm from the color purple or something.
Wayne, what you think, Wayne?
I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. So I'll start, and I agree. I agree with your co-host there that it's, you know, the worry. But the worry is an open book test, you know, so you have the support to defer things, put them on hold,
exactly,
stack your money. But we're so enticed with the drama. That's another reason why I'm in a love-hate relationship with social media, because on one side you'll have this great message, and then you'll have this conspiracy. One big conspiracy is 5G. You know.
Oh, so you think that's a conspiracy? You think the 5G is conspiracy?
Let me tell you something. 5G has created over 200 and some thousand jobs over the country and building antennas and things of that nature. I mean, over the world.
Mhm.
So
Right.
you have a combination of 3G and 4G. What has that done to you?
Me personally?
Yeah, and 5G has actually been here for the last 5 years. If you go back
Yes.
to the history of the NFL,
Right.
the NFL has been using 5G for the last 3 years. So that's a conspiracy in this fact, and then it's a money thing. And going into that,
Yeah.
I think the economy is trying to open because of money. You have big business
Yep.
that's losing money. Then you have the government that has to dip into those savings to
Mhm.
pass it out to everybody. And you already have a type of government that doesn't believe in welfare, social
Right.
security, WIC,
Yeah.
and things of that nature. So now I gotta give you almost $3,400, and now another surplus is going to come out. That if we remain quarantined, we're looking at maybe copying what Canada is doing, about $2,000 a month, depending
Yeah,
on.
but in the same time, I feel like in a sense we owe that. Like, look how much money that we pay into the system, and we may or may not get it back by the time we get to Social Security age.
Right.
So
Here's the thing about that: we vote. We didn't vote, or we voted the people in who has who has the last say on it. So
that's right.
you really point the finger at.
But
Yeah,
now when we really look at the vote now, to voting the system is so screwed. It's terrible because there's no way that the popular vote shouldn't count, in my opinion.
Okay, so that's a great point, and I will definitely give you a rebuttal on that. So
Go talk to me.
okay, so electoral college is one of the biggest excuses I've heard in the last 5 years. Okay, so let's talk about the electoral college and understand that electoral college goes off of both local and state. So
Mhm.
if you as a person don't go out and elect that whatever party you're about from the local standpoint, that hurts you. If you don't go out and vote for whoever you stand for in state government race, then that hurts you electorally. So if you're not voting for what they call the grassroots, it's gonna hurt you when you go out there for that main election. And just because you have the popular vote, guess what? You have people that were 60 to 80 years old who hadn't voted in 13 years,
Mhm.
who stayed in the sticks that came out to vote because they felt like the South will rise again. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, do you think that and this kind of off topic but on topic, that most people did that because it was a woman running?
Yeah.
Or do you think it was
Of course.
the Democrat versus Republican thing?
But I take that back. Now I'll take my niece. I'm not gonna say her name. I don't know if she's watching. She'll probably watch this, so I'm not gonna say her name. So the comment my niece made to me, and I think my niece is in that generation between the age of 20 and 30.
Uh-huh.
Right.
She didn't like neither candidate. She thought both of them were the devil, and she didn't go vote at all. And if you talk to her friends and people, connected with her, they felt the same thing and they decided to stay home.
Right. And there was a
lot of
vote
that
for the
happened.
other side.
But
Exactly.
that's automatically voting for the other side, right?
That's
Right.
it's automatic. It's automatic. And even if you don't vote for the other person and you give your vote to the independent person, then whoever wins that state, it leaves that independent person and goes to the person whoever won the state. So that's why you
A
have
lot of people don't know that or realize that.
Exactly. So that's why, I try to tell everybody. And for what those actions were in 2016, this is what you get. And if you do it again, you're gonna have it again the next 4 years if you're not prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. But now I do believe in voting. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't push that narrative on me.
No, I didn't.
But I do believe in vote. But now, and who we voted in, it shows the leadership on this thing. We have a poor leader, and it is no unity on government level. There's no unity anywhere from state to national level.
Right.
So, and that's right there is sending so many mixed signals. Your local government is saying one thing, your national government is saying. So it's so many mixed signals people don't know what to do. Then you look at Facebook. Facebook can put out something that is totally ridiculous, and it can be ran with, and somebody would call you saying such and such, such and and you be like, where did you get that from? Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, with the millennial person, Facebook is their news source. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have to take accountability of what we're putting out there, like whoever these news sources are, and the millennials need to know to fact check it. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that Facebook is their news source, but what is backing that information that you're receiving?
So I feel like what I call what's going on now is what I call a verbal civil war, where you have
verbal. Repeat that. Repeat that. What did you say? Verbal.
A verbal civil war.
Okay.
So you have so many disconnects on so many different sides, and so let's talk about the millennials and we're millennials. I think it's Generation Z.
Yeah,
I think Generation Z. Yeah, so Generation Z. So let's talk about Generation Z. So the gap is very much similar to the Civil War back in the 1800s when they were fighting for slavery. It was such a communication gap. And then it's similar to civil rights back in the 60s, the communication gap. And now that communication gap is the same, because here we as the millennials are not agreeing with the people that's in place now, which are the baby boomers and Generation X. And then you have Generation Z, who doesn't even have a clue, because they feel like if I say, for instance, they graduate from college, they automatically think they're supposed to get a $200,000 a year job.
Right.
You got to grind, you got to hustle, you got to get the experience and things of that nature. So I think there's a verbal gap of understanding. Generation Z is going to go by social media.
Yep.
Millennials are the modern day civil rights leaders, to me, in my mind.
I can agree with that.
And the baby boomers and Generation X, who are the people who created debt, financial aid, Sally Mae, Freddie Mae. They created, the lower class, the higher class, the middle class, and things of that nature. They're not willing to let this generation take over, which is why we're still behind, to me.
Exactly. I definitely can agree with that. And I think with this gap and with the different ideologies of each generation is making it hard for us to progress to the next level. And as things progress, it's so many different thought patterns that nobody's willing to be in. It's like everybody trying to do it their own way.
Exactly.
So how can we, if nobody unifies, how can we really progress? You know what I'm saying? As a unit. And that's where the downfall is coming in. So I kind of back up some into the next question I want to ask. We had a commenter saying, I do agree, many people didn't vote because they didn't want a woman president. I do believe racism, sexism, and Russian interference that got 45 elected. Somebody else said not ready to resume business as usual. I believe it will be jumping the gun in an extremely bad way. So my question would be kind of to go with what the commenter saying. I want to ask: do we feel like the longer the quarantine go, even though this was going on already, is this widening the divide, the racial divide in the country? Because more people, like I was reading this post, what made me want to bring Wayne on. I saw some people saying that well, we're in a good place. My family is not in, it doesn't matter. We can stay in quarantine. My family is doing well. Where other people are saying, well, we need to get back to work. Or they have different reasons why they think the outside is ready to open back up. So what do y'all think? Do you all feel like more racism is going to come out of this, or it's going to be exposed more? Or do you think it don't have anything to do with race?
Does this going back out have anything to do with race?
Right, the decision to go back out, and does that have anything to do with race, or is it going to expose more racism? Because you have the people saying it doesn't matter, we can stay in the house as long as we want to. Then you had the
Going
people
back
saying,
out have-
Go
Going
ahead.
back, I have to do with money. Race ain't called. It's all about.
you don't
the
think
dollar.
racism has anything to do with it?
It's about the dollar.
Okay.
It's the bottom line. Bottom lines are being affected, and they need the money trying to get back the road.
The only color that's missing is green. You know, when it goes
There
to
you go.
when you go to coronavirus and things of nature, true enough, it's affecting a majority percentage as far as race as, you know, Black people. But when it comes to people giving back out, it's about money. It's about paper. Yeah. And that's priority number one. The person that's in,
at
you know,
every level.
Yeah, the person that's in office, who name I will not say, I will be respectful and say 45. It's about the dollar. That has always been his life. That has always what he's been about. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about what's his name? The Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, unless he is putting a dollar in his pocket. And so as long as green is in control, it doesn't matter. Now, when we going back to saying, okay, now let's go back to say, because I really have a problem with this. And I truly believe that a woman should have been in control maybe 10 years ago.
Yes.
Because if you look at the coronavirus now, and you look at how many countries that are women-led, they have the lowest numbers.
Right.
They have the lowest death because they were in control. They did what needed to be done before it happened.
That's right. I mean, you know, I'm a woman, so you know I got to speak from the woman perspective. So I definitely agree, but I think America is not built with that mindset. And so that's why, like I said earlier, that's why 60, 80-year-old, 6-year-old came out, because they are not about to let a woman lead them.
They don't believe it.
You know, they realize that a woman can provide the structure that the United States needs, but she gonna have to lead from the back.
These men from the from the age, I'll say 58 to 70, believe in the Old Testament. A woman should walk behind them.
But my thing is this right here. I'm gonna talk on this. You will have a man who has been raised by a single mother, right? And still will come out and say a woman can't lead.
You're right.
I mean,
but I'm different because I was raised by a single woman.
Yeah. So, but what? So what? What kind of sense does that make?
No.
But they will praise her in every hand, but then turn around and say a woman can't lead.
But maybe she led their household, but she wasn't. They don't view her as a leader as far as a business entity.
Right, and then you have to look at the same fact that even though that woman raised that person in the house, what type of environment were they in outside the house? Who were they listening to then? You see what I'm saying? Because I have, you know, relatives that doesn't believe that a woman should do certain things.
Yeah.
And again, that goes to that generation. So it's my responsibility, or it's my choice to, you know, to make the decision whether what I believe in. And I do believe a woman can be a strong leader. You know, I think it was time for Hillary. However, Hillary put herself in a situation that hurt her. Yeah. She wanted to be Obama so bad that she hurt herself instead of just running her own game.
Yeah. Well, I think she was nervous because
she wasn't nervous. She wasn't nervous.
You don't think she was nervous? I'm maybe nervous. This is not the best word choice. But I think she already knew she was up against a lot, and she wanted to model herself after something that people had already accepted.
Let me tell you
that's something. Why I think she probably took on a lot of his tactics.
I know for a fact that some people were insulted when she brought Beyonce and LeBron on that stage in New Orleans.
Yeah, she did too much.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, you can't, you know, we go for a lot of things, but don't insult us. Don't,
Right.
you know.
Right. Just because you know, I know she got the beehive and all that stuff, but and you know LeBron, we support Bron, but don't try to win my vote
Right.
by telling me, okay, I got these two people on my side. Tell me how you can help me. Tell me how much money you can put in my pocket so I can take care of my family. Tell me that I don't have to pay student loans next week. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Yeah,
that's
you're right. Now you can win the vote. If you wipe out some student loans, you can win everybody's vote.
If she would have, if Clinton would have said, okay, everybody that's making under $80,000, I'm going to fight to take your student loans away. She won that election. She would have had every person from 18 to 30 out there in line vote for her.
Maybe for
exactly.
You might get pushed to 40. 40 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But she decided she wanted to try to run the campaign Obama ran. And we passed it.
If we look at it now, that's what everything on this earth is centered around. The black side of everything. Everything is really focused on our black culture, but they flipping it and trying to make it look like it's theirs. And we just can't look at it. They want to be our women. They want to be us so much they fear black men, so they demasculate us. But then they turn around and do what we do. They use the phrases we use. They want to wear the clothes we wear. But if blacks stop looking at success as being white, we can do a little more things. Success does not have a color.
And another thing, brown people need to understand that in 10 years, you're going to be the majority. So while you sitting there trying to still have a mind of inferiority, understand what your power is.
Yeah.
Look at how
that's the problem.
Look at how the internet broke last night with the DJ thing. That was all us.
Yep.
That's the power of us.
Yep.
That's the power of us.
You're right. And I think that is the problem. It's mindset. That's why some people need to be doing mindset training during this quarantine time. Because if we don't change our mindset, we're not going to change our lives, and we're not going to be able to implement new things that need to be implemented in order for us to move forward as a culture. Let me take these comments. Hold on, y'all. Somebody said the rational factor is different with women. A lot of this misinformation is Russian interference. For example, shining the light on systematic racism, distrust for police, etc. We repost it and lead people to not trust the political system. Those issues definitely exist, but I wish these issues didn't keep us from voting. They also said many women 60 and older also don't believe in women leaders. And I think to that effect, the older generation in general, you know, women didn't have power in that generation. So the older generation in general, yeah, I agree. It was the women and the men. You know, they just don't see a woman having power like that, you know.
But if women who ran the household had the power, they would just submit.
The power.
They were just submissive. They wanted to submit. And didn't understand the power they had.
Right. So when you really look at a woman running a household, do you not equate that with her being able to run a business or run a country? You know what I'm saying? Where is the disconnect?
Absolutely. I feel like go ahead. No, you go.
An open-minded person does. But you know, we just get to open-minded in our generation.
Exactly.
We've been so clouded about all the tradition, where now when you get to our generation, we're trying to convince our elders instead of our elders trying to convince us. We're trying to do it in reverse.
Right. And I truly think that the elders need to go to an island and just relax and just do something. And don't look at TV, don't look at us. I don't need your advice. Because we're our own independent-minded people. And that's what the problem was back then. It was, here's the man. What I say, then I'm going to follow you. Although my mind personally is telling me something different. That's one thing I love about my wife. My wife is one of the most independent people I've ever known. And she fulfills those weaknesses that I have. That's why I feel like, what if a woman was president? You know
but I think that speaks to your manhood or your power as her equal. Because
Right.
like my co-host and his panel talked about last night, you allow your wife to be her, who she is and what she brings to the table. So you can recognize the strengths that she have and allow her to bring you up in your weaknesses. But if we don't recognize those things, then we won't allow it.
Yeah.
Come on, co-host. Come on, co-host.
So, what I like that point you made, but is it our generation that's getting it, or the men just the ego tripping? See, last night we had a good conversation about it here. Is men ego tripping to the fact that they can't trust their wife, but when they get around to it, now that they're scared because they know the truth is their wife is leading, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're scared if a woman get in the office that they won't be able to match up. What you think about that?
I think we've been past that for years. There are just some women who are better at men doing things, and that's just the reality of things, you know. But it's all about the word. The hardest thing for people in this world today is a simple word, and that's acceptance. We struggle to accept change, and as long as we struggle to have any type of acceptance and an open mind, just like my brother here, he open-minded, he preaching it, but the majority is not like that, and they're not ready for that because it's fearful. Okay, I go to work, I take out the garbage, I paint the house, I do everything a man is supposed to do around the house, but I still depend on my wife on those things I can't do.
That's right.
And I'm not afraid to say that. And then if you want to judge me for it, go ahead. But guess what? I'm happy.
Yes.
And it's working.
Yes.
I'm happy.
Your picture does not have to look like your parents' picture. And
that's
what we fail to realize.
Exactly.
You got to make your household work, and we have to make our time work on earth.
Exactly. And I feel like
I gotta stop living for our parents and grandparents or whatever we want to do. We have to live for ourselves and be successful on our own.
And I think it started with us because even now, if you look at it statistically, you don't have broken homes anymore.
Yes.
You don't have, even if the home is broken, you have men stepping up, taking care of their kids where you don't have to put them on child support. Still, you got those trifling people out there, and you're gonna always have trifling people. But the percentage, you know, what we always used to see back in the day or read about back in the day, or even with, you know, going back to the 80s and 90s, even when, you know, all you saw is black men leaving their families on drugs. That's all you saw. That's all you saw, but you don't see that now. And now what they do now to protest that or to challenge that is you have reality shows.
Yes,
the reality shows give you that mimic of what they used to do back in the 80s and 90s. But see, some people
they pushing fakeness. They pushing falsehood. I'm telling you, Doc, talk to that reality, man. And then we get to watching the reality, and now our mind get to turning back the wrong way.
You want to try to implement.
It takes individuals like you to tell them, look, that's not the image of a man in 2020. That's not the image. Even like with the Charlemagne thing, black men don't cheat. We got to push out all the positivity we can. We're gonna move to another level.
That's right.
It's just like I always say, I even say it to my niece, you know, you look at the reality show, you see this person, they got a Rolex watch on, they got a $50,000 chain on, but you see the background, they're in an apartment.
Right. Hello.
What is that telling you?
Right.
So see the image for what it is and not what the words you're hearing.
Exactly. And you got to realize this is television. So it's programming you to see the narrative that they want you to see. So you got to see what you see, but take it for what it is and not for what they wanted you to replicate in your life. Okay, we got some comments saying, even with a woman elected as president, the way the government is set up, there are checks and balances, and I feel like her opinion would get outvoted. I can see that. We also said one question would be whether male or female, are they willing to make the necessary changes to become better? Okay.
So let me say this about the woman thing, and
Okay.
I'm going to continue to nail it. I'm going to continue to punch it. I'm going to continue to punch that bag. So again, I'm going to compare women governors currently to men governors. If you look at it statistically and you read the facts, women governors aren't out there asking and begging for testing and.
You said they're not?
No, you look at the only city that can actually go into phase 3 right now is San Francisco, was ran by a woman mayor who got flack for shutting down her city back at the end of January. That's the only city in the country who can now go to phase 3 and open up their entire economy. And that was ran by a woman mayor who didn't care what anybody else said. But she made the decision because she studied the facts. She saw what was coming. She didn't look at power. She looked at how the prosperity of people run the economy. There's no economy if you can't. It's no economy if you dead.
So you don't think the woman would get outvoted if a woman is placed in? You don't think she would get outvoted with her ideals?
I think you have to. I hate to say it like this, and I'm probably gonna get ate up when I say this.
Well, is that what you think?
But I think a woman has to be in second place to get first place, and let me explain why.
I'm gonna say now. Wait,
let me explain this. Okay. I feel like if Joe Biden wins,
yes,
and he has a woman vice president,
yes,
she will be your first president.
Yeah,
people have to see your action. We are people of action because we judge. I don't care who you are. We judge. We are people of judgment. And once they see you in that position, once they see your face, once they see what you can do, once they see that, okay, you have that word president, although it's vice, you still have a power. Then that confidence starts to build. Then you become relaxed. Then you become optimistic that maybe she would be a better president than what we have now.
Right.
And she can be a leader to where she can take us to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by when you sometimes you got to be second to be first. And I wasn't talking solely about women, so please don't beat me up after this.
That's what I want to say. I think the best candidate, regardless, should win.
Right.
Like I like he said, he don't want to get stuck on a woman, but we've seen every other way,
Right.
And it is a new wave of things going on. So I mean, if the best candidate is a woman, I'm all for it. We gotta vote for the person who's gonna get the job done.
Get the job done, yeah. Well, I like how you explain that. Yeah, I agree that I think we talked about this before. You have to lead by example, and so once if a woman is able to be the vice president, because just think about it in a marriage, the wife is the vice president, the husband is the president, but she doing all the running, just
I feel you.
Yeah, she making sure the household is doing what it needs to do, although the husband may lead out front of her as the president. You know what I'm saying? So in that, if you look at it like that, in that aspect, the man can be the president, she can be the vice president, and make sure that everything is going in alignment. And she is learning the tools she needs to learn. So in the next election, she could perhaps be elected the president. So I like that rationale. That makes sense. And somebody said, I agree with the woman having to be second place, and we are a people that chooses the lesser of the two evils.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad somebody agreed with me. I feel better about myself.
Yeah, I think that, when you had to explain it now, when you first said it, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw your facial expression. That's why I said, hold on, let me give an example. Because
But that's a great example. That's a great example.
And I agree. And I wouldn't have thought about it like that. Well, thank you, Mr. Wayne, for coming on. I'm sorry for calling you Mr. Wayne. For coming on and lending your opinion and, some very great perspectives. And although we kind of got off topic, but I think some of those things need to be discussed as well. But in my opinion, I don't think we're ready to go back outside. I think people should proceed with caution. Like I said, I think I kind of waver in the middle of the conspiracy of it and the fact that I know it's a financial thing. But I think just should proceed with caution, because I definitely think it's some antics behind it that we shall find out as things proceed.
You won't know. You won't know until after another president or something is in office about what happened now. It's going to be years from now with studies and things of that nature to really give you an understanding of what happened. So the people who are looking for something to come out this summer or things of that nature, not gonna happen. It'll be a year or so from now. After, if Biden wins, you'll see the reality of why it's got to this point. Because to be honest, COVID-19 means Corona 2019, meaning this virus was November of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to look at the actions of what our government took and see that money overruled your health.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if you don't understand that, you lost.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are lost and they don't understand it.
And we got to realize that, but by the time the information gets to us, how far it trickles.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You know how that goes.
Yeah, we know it's some lines that got to come down.
Right.
There's some forces that can stop the information from
right.
where it needs to go. So
right.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's just like somebody telling, okay, James got hit in the face. When they get to the second person, James got hit in the face and got kicked in his leg. When they get to the third person, James got hit in his face, kicked in his leg, and they threw him out the window.
Right.
So it's more and more added to create drama. And that's what we see on TV instead of just looking at that open book test and trying to understand what's really going on. So we just have to be woke. We have to look at reality. We can't look at, these off the wall comments and things of that nature. You have to be able to make a decision for yourself and be content about the decision you make.
Well, do you think this is probably some aspects of our new normal? As far as how things will probably go, or do you feel like things will go back to the way it used to be once people are able to go out?
I think, one thing I think that, once, the testing is out there, everything will go back to normal, because now you'll be able to instantly quarantine somebody, or it'll be just like taking sick leave or something like that. However, you have, coronavirus has been out. Coronavirus is on the back of a Lysol can.
Right,
so there's so many strands of coronavirus. It's been out there. It's been there. SARS, there's MERS. That's all of that is corona. So I think once you get to the point of vaccines and things of that nature, and that's another thing. I have to say this too. I gotta get this out. All you people out there with their ignorant information about vaccines, they save your life. And majority of people who probably don't have the disease is able to fight it because their immune is so high due to vaccinations they've had over the years. So just because you hear vaccinations and all this crap about what it causes and things of that nature, it helps. It saves lives. So if there's a vaccination for corona and they push you in a point where you can protect your family and other people around you and people at work, so we don't get to this point again a year from now or 2 years from now, just read the information and make sure you're aware of what the decision you're making about it when we get to that point. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, so you would say that people like next year, when it's time to do the flu shot and all that, or if they have a corona shot and a vaccination in place by then, you think that people should take it?
I feel like if we get to the number where you can at least test at least 500,000 people a day, maybe that's in June or July, we can get back to normal. You won't have that problem. But
no, I'm saying as far as people just taking the vaccination to prevent getting it, if it's a yearly thing like the flu.
Yeah. I don't think. I think you have this lady. I think her name is Marquita Colbert, black lady. She's actually leading the infectious disease control. She's been studying this virus for 5 years, and she's maybe 2 months. She already has a vaccination in testing, and said it will be ready for all healthcare workers beginning fall. So we're already ahead of the curve, but we just need to make sure we're understanding what's to come and be prepared for it. But I think we'll be okay. I really do. I'm optimistic.
Okay. You gotta think of.
I'm glad we got you on, and now you have definitely kicked some good you know, you opened my eyes up to some things, some ways I wasn't looking. So I mean, I'm pretty sure we will have you back, because you definitely may be Mr. CDC.
Right. For sure.
Well, you know, man, I'm a nerd, man. I like to, you know the facts, and then, my wife, she pushes me too, and we have these conversations daily. I have it with my sister-in-law, I have it with my mom, my sister. We're always talking about things, and we're all, even my cousins, we're always trying to see who knows what and who knows the most, and who just talking out the side of their neck. So, I have a conversation,
Yeah, I can tell. I said, man, they want on this. I need to get this perspective on the show, because I can't regurgitate all this information. I was screenshotting. I said, let me just try to get him on there, because I can't talk about it.
I'm always down. I'm down. And, I'm always looking to learn knowledge. You all have taught me a lot as well, just from, your perspective and what you think and what you know. So now that gives me kind of an understanding. So when I have a conversation who have that same type of mentality as you all, or think differently, I know how to approach it. So I really appreciate you all too.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on.
Hey, another thing I'm gonna get before you leave. Another thing I'm gonna give you praise on. I like a man who can praise his wife and don't feel.
I knew you gonna say that.
Well, I gotta give it to the man. I gotta give it to the man, because I praise my wife. And I really believe, without my wife, I may wouldn't be in the position I am now, because she pushes me as well as I push her.
Yeah,
that's just something that we have to make known public.
Yeah, I'm highly blessed because of my wife. I was in a position where I could have been in a shack or a hole. But my wife, she saw those things, those issues that I had, and she was willing to help me deal with them, and it made me successful. So she gets all the praise. It's all good. And if you don't praise your wife and don't think she ain't uplifting you, you's a fool, and you need to be by yourself.
That's right.
Why would you be with her? Why would you be with her?
That's dope. Yeah. That's right. You're right. Now we need more men to hear. Do y'all hear what he's saying?
Yeah.
Take heed.
No shame.
Yeah. Okay. So he's signing up for your men kickback again, because he ready for it. I can tell.
Oh yeah, I gotta have him on the kickback. He definitely will be on the kickback.
All right. I'm ready. You just let me know.
All right. Well, thank you, Wayne, for coming on. We'll see you later in the Facebook streets.
All right. Everybody stay blessed, stay safe, and it's okay to stay in the house 14 more days. Just watch.
Y'all ain't got nothing to do. All righty.
All right. Be blessed.
Right. Doctor.
So we want to make sure before we tap our other little topic before we get off of here, we want to make sure that you all share the podcast on your pages, tag some people who you all think would enjoy this conversation, and make sure you head over to our YouTube channel and click the subscribe button, as well as our Facebook page, and hit the like button. Okay, so co-host, I want to give you a little kudos. If you all hadn't seen my co-host kickback show, y'all are missing out on a treat. I tell you, those guys got on there last night and had me glued like I didn't even know that they was gonna get on there and talk. So make sure you go to our either our Facebook page or our YouTube page and watch the male kickback, and come in and give some perspective on what they talked about. So two topics we want to talk about tonight. We always talk about marriage and relationships. So according to this guy, he talked about his parents being married for 25 years, But after being married for 25 years, at the 15 year mark, they're married 25 years now. But once they're married 15 years, they moved into separate houses. And they said that was the best thing that ever happened to their marriage. So, what are your thoughts, co-host, on living separate from your spouse?
Well, me personally, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship that I can't live with my spouse.
Yeah.
I think that's just a part of being. That's some of the privilege you get with being married. You get to live with your spouse, right?
Right. I mean, how is it truly a marriage if y'all live separate? Now I know, like back in the days, once people got to a certain age, they started sleeping in separate beds. So to me, that's the same thing as living in a different house. I mean, the best thing about being married, that's your person, you lay down, y'all talking about y'all day at the end of the night and all that. But if you live in a separate house, like really, what's the point? And so is that considered an open marriage?
Come back.
I'm saying if they're living in separate houses, do you think that's considered an open marriage?
I mean, how could it not be an open marriage if you're not living together? How can you say what that person is doing, or if they're not living a double life outside of you?
Right, you can't, because you don't know what they're doing at their house when they go to their house. But that's like on the show Married to Medicine. Like the guy, but they were having marital problems. The guy had one house and the wife had another house. And so I disagree with that. So Sarah, for writing in, I hope you're not following that ideology. I just disagree with that. And if that is the way you want to live, why have a wife? Why be married? Like, what are you gaining from being married but living separately? So what do you all think? Do you all think that a married couple can have a successful marriage by living separately? Do you think that's a good idea? And whenever my co-host decide to come back on here while he over there tonight, do you think that I already know your answer, I guess it is. But do you think monogamy is realistic? So I was listening to this YouTuber, and he was saying that, which he's not married, that he really don't feel like monogamy is realistic for a long term. Like he's saying, like when you get married, you're saying that you're gonna be with this one person for the rest of your life. He said he don't think that that's realistic. So what do you guys think? Do you feel like realistically you could be with that one person and that be your only sexual partner for the rest of your life? Do you think that's really realistic? Or do you think it's time changing? You know.
If you get married, of course, I think you should believe that that you can be with your spouse and only your spouse for the rest of your life, right?
Right.
Because I mean, if not, what are you getting married for? I mean, like, what are your real beliefs? Your
but
beliefs
people
should
who
be
are
that
considering marriage, and then they say, well, I don't know if I could only be sexual with this one person for the rest of my life. And I just say to that person that marriage is not for them.
Well, marriage may be for them. I'm not gonna say marriage is not for them.
What kind of marriage is gonna be for them?
Listen. Can I talk?
Come on.
Don't jump on me. But what I'm saying is, marriage may be for them. But as we said, communication is the key in any marriage.
True.
So if they have those conversations before they get married, maybe their spouse or the person they're going to marry feels the same way. And maybe they can work that out. Because as we always say, it's not your marriage, it's their marriage.
It's their marriage, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. Well,
everybody married.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Everybody's marriage is their own. So if those are rules in your marriage, oh God. Who say it's wrong?
But you have to have an understanding and say this is what kind of marriage we're having.
Of course.
Yeah. I just I don't think marriage is for a person that feel like they could not be with that one person for the rest of their life. Like, to me, that's the idea of being married, like totally committing yourself to that one person forever. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we know that life happens and people, things happen in a marriage and people grow and evolve at different pace. But I just feel like, what is the point of really getting married if you can't totally commit? I think that really defeat the purpose. That just take away from the idea of the vow. You know what I'm saying? Don't say the vow. Just say that we are committed to live together for the rest of our life, but we may stray from time to time. I just don't feel like that's the definition of marriage. Don't fit that ideology that you cannot be with that. You can only, you might not sleep with nobody else for the rest of your life, and you might. Like, they don't fit the mold or the ideal of the thought of being married. Like, that just don't go together.
I mean, in the traditional phase, it definitely don't go together. And I definitely got a wife who does not agree with that. So I'm just gonna put that out there. But I do know, I do know that some people, they live these different lives. They lead different lives, and people make their own vows. They write their own vows. I mean, so who are we to say what they can and can't do? All I'm gonna say is, make sure you talk about it. Don't be feeling that way and then don't let the person know, but you feel another way.
Yeah, that's real. Okay, well, somebody said sometimes you can reach a downfall and it could make y'all come back stronger than ever. And I'm assuming that they are referring to the living separately after that. And I understand if you all probably separated, then living in separate houses may work until you all can decide if you want to move forward with the divorce or if you want to come back together. But just in general, in my opinion, I would want to live separately from my husband. Like, to me, if we living in separate houses, we live in separate lives. And that connection is more than likely not going to reconnect, because he can do whatever he want to do. I can do whatever I want to do. We can tell each other anything. But I mean, people can live in the same household and be living separate lives. So, I mean, living in the same house don't necessarily mean that you're not doing what you should not be doing. Yeah, but I think you have more of an accountability when you are in the same household. What you think?
You definitely have more of accountability when you're in the same household, because that person is there with you 24/7, and when you come home or when you go out to work, they're expecting you to come back home.
Right.
But my thing is this right here. Do you think that is more for elderly people of yesteryear more than in our time? Because I mean, back in the day, you seen people who was even married and they stayed there in separate rooms in the house. We seen that type of stuff. But my thing is, I want to be, me personally, I got to be in love with you so much that I can't live away from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you get to doing that, they just wearing their ring, or they're saying they're married, but at that point they're actually free.
Yeah.
They're only free.
You roommates, and I think that is a thing of the past. And I always wonder why grandma and granddad slept in different rooms or had like twin beds. Like, I know that this man may snore too much and he all on you and he ain't that probably as fit as he used to be. But I mean, that was happening over the years. So why now?
Yeah.
You not want to sleep in the same room with him, or you not want to sleep in the same bed? Like, I really, if anybody knows, please let us know in the comments. Like, I really want to know why did they start doing that? But I feel like maybe granddad was being a Rolling Stone, and grandmama didn't want to leave him because to death do you part. But you're not sleeping in this bed with me. You gonna go in your own room. I don't know. I just don't understand that, and I just feel like maybe it is a thing of yesteryear. And I think maybe our generation probably holding people more accountable. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably holding people more accountable and looking at marriage in a different light. But on the same token, a lot of people as they're looking at marriage in a different light, they're open to a lot of different things now.
Yeah, and people are open to a lot of different things. But now I'm just gonna say, for Pete Farrell and me personally, I can't see my wife living in another house. You know, I got a problem with my wife staying in another state for too long. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's on a certain lot of time that you should be away from your wife.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know. Everything is different, and things work differently for each couple. But I think it should be a standard in marriage that certain things apply regardless of how your marriage goes. Like, you know, you're gonna come home every night. We're gonna sleep in the same bed every night. Like, you know, because in the Bible it says don't go to bed angry. So in essence, don't let your sun go down in your wrath. So I mean, just because you're angry, that means you can't sleep in the same bed. And then to me, things get out of hand rapidly. So y'all don't sleep together one night. Then y'all don't sleep together next night. Next thing you know, it's been 2 weeks. He's sleeping on the couch. He's sleeping in the other room. You're just opening the door for destruction.
And then what I would say is this: if the only way I can get along with you if you stay in another house, that means we ain't meant to be together.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, how does it make sense? I mean, like, I'm truly perplexed. Like, how does that make sense? I don't understand. So I think with people with that ideology, just my opinion, you all may disagree. You're not meant to probably be married if that's the way you think. But you know, if it works, kudos to you. You know what I'm saying? But I just think, how are you teaching healthy relationships to your kids? If you know you are united and you say you're married, but you live in different houses. And human nature gonna come to play. You living separately from your spouse and you being 100% faithful to them. Ain't nobody make me believe that.
Yeah, that ain't gonna come. You ain't gonna be what you need somebody. You used to somebody laying beside you all of a sudden. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see.
I don't know either, but I know my husband, he all wanna come and lay over here. Can you come and lay over here so I can go to sleep? So if I ain't laying there over him to help him go to sleep, somebody's gonna be laying over there helping him go to sleep.
Somebody gonna be over there helping him go to sleep.
Right. And if y'all agree to live separately, then are you agreeing to those terms that anything else goes that could happen doing the living separately? You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so this last question, I put this out here earlier today on my page, and can relationships last without a title? So, what do you think? How long can you be in a relationship without a title?
Oh, me?
But you being sexual with a person. So I want y'all who listening live, or if you watching a replay, how long can a relationship last without a title? So you're doing all the relationship things, but y'all don't have a title. So how long can you be just kicking it? You know, women are emotional. So, I mean, men, I'm gonna let you say the men aspect, but I don't think a woman can, once the situationship or the kicking it and all that start to progress and things start happening, I don't think a woman can go long term without having a title, know where things going, depending on what she's looking for now. What you think?
Okay, I would say this right here. If you both single, right? You two single people and y'all dating, because you're not in a relationship, okay? We're gonna call it dating, right?
Okay.
You dating. How long can the relationship go without title? It can go a long time without title as long as you're not having sex.
No, but I'm saying you are having sex.
Once sex enters, titles have to come. Because people start feeling attachment. You know what I'm saying? Ownership. People start to think things are theirs. So, I mean, I don't think after sex no longer than maybe a month.
No more than a month, yeah. Yeah, I would say that too, because, you know, you might try to determine if you like their sex. You know what I'm saying? If it's worth a long-term thing, you know what I'm saying? Or if you just dibbing and dabbing and just trying to see what's happening. So, think a month is realistic. You know what I'm saying? If you all become sexual and all different things, they meet your family. Like, I mean, what is the difference between putting a title on it and not if you're doing everything that accompanies the title? And that's why I think a lot of people are having relationship issues right now.
See, that's my thing right there. When you're doing everything that say you in a relationship, but then you say you're not in a relationship, who are you fooling?
Exactly. And what is truly holding you back from putting a title on it? Do you have commitment issues?
Right.
Or are you still trying to be with other people? Are you, you know?
Yeah, that should draw red flags in your head, like, oh, what's going on here? And then it should make you feel, if she let me do this and she doing that and we doing it, what is it? Does she want me, or does she have somebody else? Am I the side piece? So different things are going to start playing in your brain, because once you get it, now not only you don't want nobody else to get it if you really like it. Let's be real about it.
Right.
Now y'all might didn't have all these different titles attached, but now you want to know a little more. You know, she want to know a little more. So I don't think it can last longer than a month once y'all start having sex. Somebody got to be saying something. Somebody gonna want to say it, and whether they say it or not, somebody's feelings is finna get hurt.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I think that me personally, and this was some of the things that people said on the comment earlier, that you have to be intentional in everything that you do. So if you meet this person and y'all are vibing and you feel like it's ready enough to take you to the next level sexually, and you know that your intention is to be into a relationship, I think the conversation need to be had to know where this is going. So even if you decide, if that person say they don't want to be in a relationship, and even if you decide to move forward with being sexual with them, you know what you're getting yourself into, versus you hoping that, okay, ooh, we done went on 5 dates. Ooh, I went to his barbecue. Ooh, we having sex, you know. Ooh, he bought me this, he did that. Okay, we must be in a relationship. But if you don't know, I mean, you can't say the man was misleading you if you didn't sit down and say, hey, now what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we mislead ourselves. We just assume that we in a relationship and you just.
So we always say communication is key, right? So are you telling the women that they shouldn't give up the cookie till they get a title?
I would say, I mean, it depends on what kind of woman you are. You know, different kind of women out there. Different women be into different things. They just want to do and then go on, because they might be the one that don't want to put a title on. Because there's some women out here that really will make you be like, wow, you really willing to go and do all this and still be out here trying to see who else available? So I think it depends on the kind of woman you are. But if it was me, I need to know what we're doing, because see, first of all, I don't want to be sleeping with you and knowingly that you are likely sleeping with other people. Now we know people cheat and they do, and they make you think you're the only woman and they be out here doing other things. But I don't want to willingly be dealing with you on that level. And then you over here I still know that it's likely that you over here with Miss Thing and Miss Thing and Miss Thing. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna make me believe that I'm the only one, and you're gonna let me know what we doing here, and then we're gonna start getting into all that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, people don't like to share. So I'm not gonna normally be sharing, but I think that woman had to set that standard to say, look, what are we doing here? But I think the lack of commitment from men, that some women are lowering their standards just to have some kind of situationship because they don't want to be lonely.
Well, women gotta. I mean, I feel that women should understand their worth. You know,
absolutely.
Woman got what a woman has what a man wants.
Right.
If women just should realize that, and that's it, right?
Right.
That is, the woman is powerful because she has what we want. Right. We're willing to do what it takes to get what we want from her. But if she don't make us, we won't.
Do it. That's right.
I say all the time, man does what a woman allows him to do.
That's right. So that's why that woman needs to say.
Now, it was a question that we had last night. I wanted to get your response on it, and because on my show on the Kickback last night, it was
Okay.
it was a great topic we had. I want to see what you feel about it. It was forgive or forget topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to forgive or forget. Yes, we had that topic on our show,
Right.
but on last night on the Kickback, I brought in the infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to ask you, is it easy can you forgive someone after they cheated in a relationship? Can you?
Can me personally?
Yeah, do you think the person can be forgiven for cheating in a relationship? That's what I want to know. Can they, broad spectrum and individually, if you want to take it there, let's talk on it.
Well, my first instinct is to say no. Okay.
Right.
It's my first instinct to say no. A person, you're not going to forgive a person for infidelity.
Right.
However, we know that people are forgiven, and that relationship can continue and they can work it out and all that. But me personally, I'm not going to say 100% that I would not forgive my husband for cheating on me. I know it would take me a long time, but I don't think, me personally, that I would ever be able to give my all to him again, because that's like a deep level of trust that you have broken. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you violated me in a whole nother level. Like, I think there's a lot of things that can be forgiven, but cheating on somebody sexually, I guess that's cheating, but you know what I'm saying? Being sexual with another person, I don't know. It really would take me a while to come back from that. I'm not gonna say that I'll be done, but it's just gonna be different. Like, it'll take a long time to be the same. So me personally, I probably would want it to be done, but it's so many factors that have to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not,
we said it was definitely circumstantial.
yeah.
So when you're asking kid, okay, now I'm gonna ask your kid in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're thinking about the child, and you're thinking about, ideally wanting to raise a child in a 2-parent home. However, if it's to a point that me and him, we really can't coexist because of what he done, then, what is the point anyway? Because then we sleep in a separate room like we just talked about. I don't want to sleep in the same bed with a man that been laying in the bed with another woman. So then you still separated, but you live in the same household. So how is that benefiting the child?
Yeah. And they see it now, and they know it. They know what's going on.
Right. They definitely see it. So I don't know. I feel like the cheating thing just take on another level, but you don't know how you're gonna react until you in the situation. And it's so many factors, like I said, that's involved. But my first instinct is to say no. Like, I mean, you gotta really, and I don't know what explanation you can give, but I mean, you really have to make me believe that you wanna work it out and you did wrong or whatever the case may be. But I don't know. It'll take me a minute to come back from that. I'm just, once you cross me a certain way, I don't know.
Right. Well, I would give my opinion on it, but I would rather for you guys to see the Kickback. And if you watch the Kickback, you will see exactly how I feel on the situation.
Okay. Well, I know I did watch the Kickback, of course. So I want you to put on here just in case they don't want to go to YouTube and type in what's come out of your mouth and then watch the Kickback and then hit subscribe, just in case they don't want to do that. What do you think when the tables turn and you are the one doing the cheating? Do you want somebody to forgive you?
Well, of course, every individual, once they make a mistake, want somebody to forgive them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real about it now.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wants to be forgiven when they make a mistake. But in actuality, now we have to, like I tell AJ, it's consequences to everything you do, right?
Absolutely.
So we have to be able to live with the consequences of our decisions once that happens. So now, I mean, I would want you to forgive me, but I know it's your right not to forgive me, right?
Right.
I just have to deal with the circumstances of that, and that's what I would say.
Yeah, I feel like same. Like when you doing wrong, of course you gonna. I think people take advantage of their spouse and feel like they're gonna automatically forgive them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's when it comes in with the person being selfish, because you cannot take away my right to forgive you because you decided to do an indiscretion. So I think
Mhm.
you just gotta think about the consequences. And I mean, people ain't so willing to forgive as they used to be back in the days. Like, so you
Yeah,
gotta think about the things that you do. But I just think some things are unforgivable offenses, and I think that's one of them. But do I think you
and
can
that
come back from it? Probably. It depends on
will work.
the individual.
And like I told guys that night, you have to do the work, and and most of the time, you gonna have to you will need counseling.
Yeah, you're gonna need something. You're gonna need something. Because I mean, I just think if you're gonna be committed to it, yes, things happen. Yes, people slip up and all that, but why does that have to occur? You know what I'm saying? What is the disconnect going on to say I'm gonna go over here and be with this other woman? I'm gonna go ahead and be with this other man. Like, where's the disconnect? Once you see that gap coming, you need to do whatever you need to do to bring it back together, or just be real. Baby, I'm no longer invested in this relationship. I'm ready to move on. What's wrong with people being honest and saying that they done? You trying to protect me by staying, but you gonna hurt me by cheating.
Yeah, I mean, in either way, it's gonna be a hurtful situation.
Yeah, either way. But I respect you more to say you feeling like we're disconnecting, you want to be done. Then we separate, and then you go ahead and do what you want to do. I can't be mad at you because you was real with me, and you said I feel like it's not what it used to be. I want to fly a little bit. Okay, go ahead, do your thing. Maybe we might reconnect, we might not, but I can respect you more than you just go out here and do it just because you feel like you can get away with it. Because really, when a person cheats, they feel like they're gonna get away with it.
Is that so? That what you feel?
That's what I feel.
Oh,
So don't you? They gonna try to hide it. They ain't gonna just be out here cheating. Well, some people do. Some people just bold. They be at the movies, knowing they don't know who they gonna run into and all this and that. But
well,
them
they
kind
know.
of people right there, they ready for some violence to occur. Because if you're doing
Yeah,
all that, you ready for some violence. And I don't promote violence, y'all. Don't even think that if you're watching this. But
yeah,
I mean,
don't you
certain
be putting
things,
that out there.
I'm
Cause
not
they
putting
gonna say
that out there.
on what's coming out your mouth. They'll tell you to punch a person.
We don't promote that violence, but I mean, just be careful what you do and think about things before you do it, and just communicate with your spouse if you feel like something is going on and is leading you to want to be with somebody else. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So,
So, so do you think they're finna open everything back up?
well, I heard that some areas are gonna start opening back up on Friday. Is it
Uh,
Friday? Yeah, but
yeah.
I think y'all to please proceed with caution because I just don't think we're ready. But I understand, the factors that people are facing, the circumstance that people are facing that makes them want to go back outside. I really do understand that. But I don't think we're ready. And just to echo a lot of things that were said early in the show. So if you're watching a replay now or just getting on live, make sure you're watching in front of them again. I just don't think we're ready. But I understand people have their needs and they have bills and different things like that. But I just don't feel like we're ready. But who am I? So we won't be participating in the activities too soon. We'll let everybody else go out and rush and do all these things, go to the nail shops and go and do all these things. And then we'll start coming out later.
Yeah. So, people being off all the time, I hope you done learn how to do your nails and all these
Yeah,
different things.
I have seen a lot of people doing their own nails, doing their own hair and all that. And I think that's awesome. You probably gonna go back to the place,
Oh,
realistically.
of course.
What I mean, don't take away the fact that you can do it yourself. So maybe you go back to the place once a month, but for the most part, you maintain them yourself.
My thing is this right here now. I'm not finna. When time go back to doing what you were doing. But just in case you situations like this come, you'll know how to do it because I'm in the service business. I want people to go back to places when places open back up.
Yeah. Well, most people ain't gonna cut their own hair now. I mean, it's some people they gonna still patronize these services regardless if they know how to do it themselves or not. But I think it's a good thing to know how to do it yourself because you never know, even though the outside is opening back up, you never know what's gonna occur and we be back in this situation again. So why not hone in your craft? Learn how to do something that you can do in the event you are quarantined.
True that.
From here on out, I'm always gonna be thinking about what if. I don't think we ever need to stop thinking about the what if going forward because we just don't know.
Well, I'm always on that what if thing, but I think a lot of people gonna be on that what if thing now.
Yeah. Well, all right, you guys. We hope you all have enjoyed tonight's show. Please don't forget to like our page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate you all taking the time out to spend this hour with us. Sometimes we go a little over, but it just the conversation get good. So, all right, co-host, you have anything?
I want to plug myself one more time. The kickback, it was so good last night. I got a lot of great reviews out from it. So if you haven't seen, you're watching this, please go watch the first edition of the kickback. And I just want to thank the guys who came on again last night, and I want to thank Mr. Calvin Wall again today. He has some great stuff. And like I said, sometimes you just got to sit back and listen. And that man was spreading some good stuff. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And, I like that type of stuff because, you got to continue to learn. Knowledge is power. You're powerless when you don't have any knowledge.
That's right. I like that, co-host. And we will link that video, the kickback video. It'll be linked up below. All right, co-host, take us out.
All right. Oh, gracious and heaven, eternal Father, we come to you right now, Lord, and saying thank you, Lord. Father God, we just thank you for being you, God, and you all by yourself, Father God. Father God, we come right now and just thank you for another amazing podcast, Father God. Father God, we just thank you for the young man, Mr. Calvin Wall, who came on and did a great job and blessed the audience with some powerful words, Father God. I just pray that something was said or done can help somebody in their journey of this COVID-19, Father God, this coronavirus, Father God. I hope that this pandemic is not catching us by surprise anymore, that we are awake, Father God, and we know that it's a serious thing, Father God. I just pray that everyone just don't be such in a rush to get back out, Father God, that they do their homework and they take their necessary precautions once they do get out, if they do, Lord. I just thank you for my co-host, Father God, as she continues to put together a marvelous show, Father God. I thank you for her comments, Father God, and all the knowledge that she give out as well, Father God. Father God, we just thank you for another podcast week in and week out. All the blessings that you're doing around it, Father God. I just pray for the world and our state, Father God. Forgive us for all of our sins. Bless your son's name, amen.
Amen. Awesome prayer as always. All right, you guys. Thank you again for tuning in. This has been your episode of What's Coming Out of Your Mouth. Good night.
Deuces.
What's coming out of your mouth? What's coming out of your mouth? What's coming out of your